So, uh, the interview has been long, long, long overdue. I've been saying I'll do this since I think it was what last year, towards last year ending, early this year, and we are finally 6 months into this year. I've been getting way too many DMs, people from people that I don't even know, and they're basically just waiting for the interview to get to hear from you. So, to give you guys a bit of a context here, her name is Rookie. I met her early last year. So I met Rookie early last year, and we just kicked it off for probably the first 3 months when I newly just started posting out content on Instagram. She would just text me and ask me questions, just ask me random stuff like, "What is this? What is that?" And yeah, we just got along, and up until the point where I first launched the YSC mentorship, and I was doing like a better price. Like I was basically doing I was giving everything for nothing, and all I wanted them to pay was £50. And basically, I would go on one-on-one sessions with them, or basically mentor them through everything. And she took that chance, and then she jumped on it. So yeah, everyone, this is Rookie, and yeah, Rookie, I'm just gonna give the ball to you now. Just talk a bit more about yourself and what FX is to you.
Um, okay. I mean, like you said, you already said my name. So, Forex is like, I don't know, for me, Forex is life. I don't know how to do anything else other than Forex. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, where do you stay? Where are you from?
I'm originally Nigerian, but I live in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been trading? If you don't mind me asking.
This would be the fifth year.
Okay. Your fifth year. So before you met me, which was last year, so that means you had already been 3 years into it. So you already had prior knowledge
Yeah.
of FX. All right. So before you met me, what was your day-to-day life like? What were you up to? What were you doing? Were you a full-time
Um,
trader?
I was a part-time trader because I was going to school at the time. So it was basically juggling between school and trading at the same time.
Okay. How was that like for you? How were you managing that?
It was pretty stressful because like I love to trade like the Asian and the London session. I never traded the New York session, so like I always went to class like half asleep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what right now are you still in school?
Nope,
What?
nope.
Okay, we'll get back to that. So, are you done? Did you graduate? Have you done your dissertation or?
No, I didn't graduate. I'm taking a break, a long break.
Let's be real. Like, you're taking a break. Are you going back?
Oh, of course, I have to go back. I mean, of course, but for now, I'm just
Okay. Well,
taking a break.
I always get questions, and people always think that to be a trader, like you have to understand. Maybe you've done some courses. So I just want to ask you, what were you studying in school while you were in school?
Civil engineering.
Okay. So basically, it has nothing to do with trading.
Yeah, still like not related to trading.
Oh, okay. So, I just want to know, apart from, is that, so trading is your main source of income, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you do? And before you continue, what kind of markets do you trade, and what kind of trader are you? Like, would you basically scalp, or what kind of trader are you?
I would say I'm an intraday trader, so like, I really don't like my trade to go past like that particular trading day. And then I only trade like three pairs: CAD JPY, Euro AUD, and then not long ago I started trading the US 30.
Oh, okay, the index, I think that's Wall Street.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So, apart from trading, do you do any other thing?
Nope. I occasionally try to get some exercise in because of how like stationary trading is. Apart from that, no, I don't do anything else really.
All right then. So before we go into the technicals of what it is you look for in the trade and all of that, I want to know what has the mentorships been from you closing? Because I know when I was talking to you, if I'm not wrong, you were closing trades for about 2 to 3 figures. Rarely would you go into 4 figure trades closes. What has the mental shift been like from that to you closing 4 to 5 and sometimes even 6 figures who recently posted on Instagram. So from 4 to 5, so now sometimes you say, what has that mental shift been like from your day to day life and even from your charts? Because I know the person I'm talking to now is not the same person that I was talking to me last year.
Right. For me, like the mentorship just like opened my eyes to see what these so-called gurus and stuff wouldn't tell you, you know. Basically, like before that, all I was going off of was YouTube videos, and it was consistent for a while, but at some point it starts to fail, like the whole support and resistance. Without anything else, for me personally, it started to fail. You know, the results weren't as consistent. So with his mentorship, like the whole liquidity concepts, all of that, it just totally changed the game. Totally changed it.
Okay. What's your like your day-to-day approach of the markets now? What I'm asking is what's your schedule? Because I always say something, right? I always say you have to be consistent in your day-to-day life, especially if you're trying to be a day-to-day trader, because you cannot be random everywhere. So what's your day-to-day life like? What sessions do you trade? How long do you? Because I know you're in the States, so that's a
Yeah.
whole different time zone. For me, I have to go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and enjoy the session. So what is it like for you?
For me, I like to trade the Asian and the London session. So for my time zone, Asian session goes basically either 6 or 7 p.m. depending on, because the time it always goes backward 1 hour, forward 1 hour, all that mess. So it just depends on where the time is at that time, but it's always between 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And then I like to trade Asian, and then I like to trade London session. So basically, if I do find a good setup for my yen pair, I'd go with it for the Asian session. If I don't, then I just wait for London session to find a good entry on Euro AUD. Also, Euro AUD moves during the Asian session, so it's either or. And then early New York session, if I didn't see anything for the yen pair in Asian session, then that's usually when I do get a good entry, literally around between 7 and 9 a.m. That's US session time.
Oh,
And
okay.
then once I do get that entry, that's it for the day.
All right. So basically, you're probably staying awake from 6 in the evening till about I don't know 8, 9, 10 the next morning.
Yeah, but sometimes I do go to bed. Like if I do get like an entry in the Asian session, I would have everything set up and then I would go take a nap. You know, take a nap 3 4 hours, wake up, come back. You know, yeah,
That
I'm not just like constantly just sitting and looking at the charts.
that's some dedication right there. Because I know people that have the luxury of going to bed at night, but then they will still find it hard waking up before 8 in the morning. And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
this is an actual job. Most people think I don't really know what goes in people's head because for me, this is an actual job. This is something that you're doing and you're planning to do it for life. And if you cannot wake up before 8 in the morning, you can't go to bed early so you can wake up 8 in the morning. You simply don't have the
yeah.
discipline to do it. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. So I want to ask you, how do you judge your successful month? Do you even use months, or are you kind of person that you judge yourself by every weekend? Like every weekend, you look and say, "All right, I'm going to take a toll of myself on this," or you wait till every month, or you do every quarter, which is every Q3. Because for me,
Um,
I don't really care about my monthly and my weekly results. I do go by
uh-huh.
every Q3. So what is it like for you?
Um, Honestly, because for me, I'm a very critical person. So I go literally at the end of every week. I just sit and look at, okay, what did I do in the market this week?
Okay.
And then at the end of the month too, I look at it, was I consistent through everything from the first week to the last week? And then at the end of the quarter, basically at the end of the quarter, I just go off my profits. So week to week, I'm just like making sure that I'm good on the technical and mental side. And at the end of the month, make sure that I'm still keeping up on the technical and mental side. And then um, basically, I do the same thing, well, for every month. And then when the quarter is done, I'm like, oh, wow, I actually did that. The first I did that, and then yeah.
Do you usually go off of a percentage gain, or you're more of like the dollar figure? Like, are you kind of saying I want 10% this month, or you're like I want X amount of money this month?
Yeah, I literally write down, this is the amount of money I want.
That's boss.
Literally, yeah.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling that's what you were going to go for, because I know the kind of person you are.
Yeah, because I don't
Some
I don't work percentages.
Okay, something I wanted to ask was, do you ever like put a cap on it? Like you say, I'm looking for, let's say for instance, I'm looking for $10,000 this month, and then as soon
Right.
as you hit $10,000, you stop and you just put a cap on it, or basically you just keep on pushing the pedal to the metal till the month maxes out.
I wouldn't stop, but like let's say I was looking for 10 grand. Once I get that 10 grand, I hit withdraw. Withdraw, the bag is secure. It's in my bank account. You can't touch it. Like the broker can't take it from me anymore. And then,
So mentally, you're stable.
yeah.
That's
And
that's
then
something I always say, but people underestimate it. Like when you make a certain amount of profits, at some
mm,
point, draw that money and do something with it. Because the whole thing is that I always people say I'm gonna grow my account for X amount of months, and I say it's gonna be difficult if you don't withdraw at some point some amount, because what's gonna happen is that that money's gonna seem fake to you, and it's just at some point you need to withdraw that, have a feel of it, do something with it.
yeah,
It keeps you
yeah.
sane. It keeps you to understand that this is the
mm,
real thing you're doing.
Yep.
Okay. What's the biggest? If this is very a very vain question I have to ask, but I'm sure people are curious. What's the biggest lot size you've ever had on the trade?
Biggest loss?
No, lot size.
Lot size. Oh, okay. So I have done I think 20 lots, like 20.00, but like into four places.
Okay, so basically you had $200 a pip in four places, so that's
Yeah.
$800 a pip.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to know the figure at the end of it, but I just want to know, was that a loss or was that a win?
It was a win.
Okay, okay. All right, because
Yo, because
that would
if it
hurt
was a
me if that was a
loss,
loss. I don't even care if that was like
listen,
a 10 pip
if it
loss.
was a loss, I would have quit trading.
If that was a loss, that would have been eight. What? But yeah, 10 pip loss. That's 8 grand gone. 8 grand just
Yep,
gone right
I would have just shut off my laptop. You know what? I quit.
there. Okay. Now the thing is that in trading, it's a topic that it's either avoided or never talked about, and I want to ask you about it, because even I always say I come out and most people think I don't ever take losses. What do you guys think this is? This is not a fun fair. Like I do take some losses sometimes. I do go through series of strings of losses, drawdowns.
Hmm.
And sometimes like it makes me sit back and think, what the actual fuck was I doing?
Right.
You know when you take those losses and you need to go out for a walk, like you just go out
Yeah.
and take a walk with your headphones on, and you just have
Yep.
to.
I took one. I took one yesterday. I was like, wow.
Yeah, like
And once it
it
happened,
happens. It
yep, I closed it. I left the house. I was like, no, I can't be
Okay,
this.
now
This.
now again, I'm not going to force you to have to speak about the dollar figure. If you want to share with the fans, with the public, with the YouTubers, that's okay. But what was the nastiest loss you had? What led to it? What was your psychological state before you took that trade? And what was your psychological state after? And then how did you come back to get your mojo again after you took that loss?
So the biggest loss I had was like 20 something grand. And then it was literally
I'm
the
sorry, I'm
dumbest.
sorry. I'm gonna pause you there. Was that a string of losses or that was one loss? Boom, one loss.
Oh no, it was just one.
Oh my jeez.
That was the painful part. It was just one. I was like, wow. Because it's like, sometimes like when you're doing so good in the market, you feel untouchable. You feel like, these brokers, they don't have anything on me, the market doesn't have anything on me. And then basically my head was in the clouds.
Okay.
And
What?
it was like, at the start of a session, like the market is so volatile.
Yeah.
And I flung the lot size in there, like literally flung it in there. And it wasn't up to 30 minutes. Boom, it was gone. I was like, you know, sometimes you take a loss and you can't imagine that you actually just lost that. So, I was like, okay, breathe,
Quick
breathe,
question.
breathe.
What did you do after the loss? Did you take a nap? Did you take a walk? Did you just shut
No,
off from
I didn't take a nap. I poured myself a drink and I went to the living room to watch some TV because I just feel like
Oh,
after taking a loss and you review the trade, you just realize how stupid you can be. When it hits you that you can be really
it
stupid,
gets in
yeah,
your
you
head.
even feel more stupid. I was like, nah. And then, yeah, watch some TV. And I just told myself, you know what, you're not all that. Come back. You're not all that good.
I always say that every time. Like when I go through strings of wins, like last week, I had a win Monday, had a win Tuesday, had a win Wednesday, and I just kept on pushing. And Thursday was now a loss. I just had to tell myself, you know what, you've had it good. Don't fumble it back. Just end it. And most people think that's you not having the right mental strength. But sometimes you need to call yourself together and say,
Yeah.
like humble
You're
yourself.
messing up.
Yeah, humble
Calm
yourself.
down, bring
Humble is
yourself
because the loss I took on Thursday wasn't even needed. I had marked at a level that I expected price
down.
to run to, and I took a trade
Mhm.
before price got to that level. And that was just me knowing that okay, this is getting to my head now. I need to step back
Mhm.
and review what it is I'm doing. I just realized, I might as well just stop for a whole week. So yeah, so I'm happy. I'm glad I actually shared what the dollar figure was and all those other things with everyone, so everyone can finally get to see what it means to be on that receiving end, because it's never
Mhm.
all about the highs. Because I'm tired of everyone making FX seem like once you are consistent, you don't get to see losses again. You get to see big losses. The more your account grows, the bigger the losses come. The more your
Yeah.
account grows, the bigger the losses come.
So
If you're trading a seven-figure account, you have to get accustomed to losing 5 bags on the trade. That's 0.5%
yeah,
of the
you have
account.
to get accustomed to the numbers too. Because, for example, like if you have like some crazy lot sizes on, of course the drawdown is going to be different than when you have like just a standard lot on. But then, like if you're not looking, for example, you need to be looking at the pips. Let's say you're in a drawdown of like between 5 to 10 pips, but of course it's going to be a different dollar amount when you're using
Yeah,
like 20, 30 lots than when you're using a
crazy
standard
dollar
lot.
amounts.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say, this is a very probably a silly question, but I'm just gonna go ahead and ask it. Would you say the
hmm
£50 you spent last year on me, was it
hmm
worth it?
Yep, it was way more than worth it, honestly.
Okay. What was the biggest shift for you? Because I think every trader has that aha moment when everything is just like ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you? What led to that? When did you know that this is it? And
hmm
how did you handle it after that?
For me, it was like after the videos and everything, I like started to like apply it to the charts, and then when I would see like the way price would react to the levels, I was like, okay, something is definitely going on here. And it's like when I started to mark out like the take profit points using the order blocks and stuff like that, and literally like when price would touch an order block, for a take profit, it would spike up or like go into consolidation. When I was watching like all those movements, yeah, that was when I knew, what, I've been doing this thing wrong the whole time.
Okay. So basically, before you came to me, you were
Uh-huh.
basically using stuff you had learned off of YouTube.
Yeah.
But even at that, like I know you were profitable, probably not just as much as you are. Well, definitely not as much as you are now, but you were
Mhm.
profitable because I know you would show
Yeah.
me trades, and I'll be like, okay, all right, okay, that's cool,
hmm
all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, what's been the biggest struggle for you throughout this whole journey? Like throughout your whole journey as a trader, what has been the biggest struggle for you? And even now that, let's just use the word, you have made it. Even now that you have made it, what do you still struggle with?
I think consistency, because it's easy to take one trade and have a winner, but like, are you going to what are the next five trades going to be? If you take, let's say you're working with five trades, right? You want to take like your stats off of five trades, and you're telling yourself, oh, I need this five trades. I want to, follow my trading plan, blah blah blah, all that. But then you take the first one, boom, it's a winner. This literally happened to me 2 weeks ago, because now I chunk my trades into like five and spaces of five. So first one was a winner, boom. Second one, winner, boom. Third one, winner. Fourth one, winner. I was like, I'm killing it. And then the fifth one, ooh, like, it's like I was not the same person that just made the first four wins. So it's like, if I'm winning, I need to keep, like, I need to not get too excited. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
basically, the discipline.
yeah, discipline to just approach every trade literally the same way and then stay consistent through everything.
Okay, this I'm happy you said that, because I always say this, and I think at this point I sound like a broken record. I'm always saying build out a system, because
Uh-huh.
over my time of trading, I got to realize that I couldn't take three different approaches to different trades. Like I had to make something rudimentary and follow it. And now the problem is, even to me at some point, it happens to me, right? I built something that I know that is a plug and play. When I
Mhm.
take, all my trades almost look the same. All my trades just maybe different profit targets and all, but all my entries, all my approach to Euro USD don't look the same. I might have
Mhm.
different reasons as to why, but once I get it, it's the same structure. That happens every time. But
Mhm.
sometimes I would do something different. And I'm asking myself, why am I doing something different? But it's something that over time you will get to tame it. Even I'm still working towards that. I'm not a perfect trader yet. And it's
Mhm.
obviously like the biggest struggle people have in trading is not even technical. I can invite technicals on someone in probably 3 weeks. I'll tell you everything I know. You get it. As long as
Mhm.
you're working hard enough as I am to study and everything, you
Mhm.
get it. But the problem is once you have done so, being able to follow through it without breaking the rules that you have even set for your own self,
Yep.
that's always the most difficult part of everything. And that's why more times you see people, they do something whereby they flip accounts, withdraw, flip
Mhm.
accounts, withdraw, flip accounts, withdraw, flip accounts, withdraw. And the reason why they never build an account is because they don't have the discipline enough to build one account
Yeah.
up. And that's something I have to give it to you. Like you have done extremely well. I think out of
Mhm.
everyone, like Courtney, Prayesh, which eventually I'll try and get them to do the interviews too. They are
Mhm.
doing extremely well too. But like you have set a different bar, a different standard for yourself, which I'll say big ups to you for that.
Mhm.
The next one, which is basically coming to an end of this, I'm just gonna ask you a question. If like about the people out there that are not where
Mhm.
you are, not where I am, basically being able to trade and stuff like that, and maybe they're still struggling, they're still on YouTube, probably gonna find this video from recommended for you or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
What would you advise them to basically help them get to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage after
Honestly, the first step is to realize that you don't know what you're doing,
that?
because many people, yeah, I think that's the hardest step, because many people think they know what they're doing, but then the results are still the same. So realize you don't know what you're doing. That's number one. And then number two, find somebody that knows what they're doing, if they actually know what they're doing, you know. And then train yourself, like actually train. Doesn't matter how much knowledge you think you have already, just get the extra knowledge. The extra knowledge, it never hurts. And then um test it out, back test. Don't just, because you see this person winning with a strategy, you think you can win with the same strategy. Test it out and see if it fits, if you're able to make consistent profits off of that. And then if you're able to do that, just try to keep the consistency. That's all I have to say.
All right. You mentioned something that got my attention. How important? Because I was talking to someone. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he's fine with me mentioning his name. But I told him something
Hmm.
about backtesting. Gave him like a module to go work with, and he came back and was really excited. And people underestimate the power of backtesting. it's probably either that or they don't know how to backtest. So I want to ask you, how significant has backtesting been for you in your journey as a trader?
Um, Very significant because when you back test and you go over data upon data upon data, it's like when it's happening again, you literally know exactly what's going on and you know exactly how to approach it just based on like how much you've noticed while you were back testing. So it's like you can't skip back testing. If you skip it and you're consistent, it may last for a while, but at some point you will need to go back and back test.
So at some point, you're basically going to run into something that you're unfamiliar with. How often do you say you backtest? Would you say you backtest rather?
Um, Maybe like 3 weekends in a month. Yeah,
Okay.
so basically I know what my strategy is, but I just really literally just go back, keep going through the market data, keep going through it, keep going through it, keep going through it, keep going through it. And then yeah, just trying to get better.
Okay, before you got to this point where you're much more relaxed now as a person, where you've found your zen, basically you're where you are now. How many hours were you putting into studying and backtesting before now?
Hmm. Before now, honestly, I would back test until I fall asleep. I'm not even kidding. I would like when when you start to yawn and yawn and yawn and it's ridiculous. Like, have you ever yawned so much that tears come out your eyes? Yeah. The moment I yawn and it's like I'm starting to cry, I just close the laptop and I go to bed.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking that is
Yeah.
because most people come in and they're putting in probably 20 minutes a week into studying.
Oh
But then they
God.
complain about someone else that is putting in probably 6 hours a day. Like the
Yeah.
result can never be the same. I always say like the results can never ever be the same because the reason why I know when you came in, you were the one person that would ask me for probably 2 sessions a day, and I was like, what? Okay, she's actually very serious. You asked me for 2 sessions a day, and back then, as I said, I was giving away everything for nothing. Like I would do 2 sessions a day with the mentees if they needed it. Prayers can vouch for this, Courtney, and all of them. I would give no as long as they were ready, willing to come in front of the PC, I would jump on it with them. And I can remember how you would ask me questions by 2 in the morning. I wake up 6 in the morning and I'll still see questions from you. And your work rate was just outstanding. And I always say like once you work that hard, there is no way the results will show. There is
Yep.
no way the results will show. When you came to me, I think you said your account was on like what? You had probably like a 5 or 14.
Yeah, it's around 14, 15.
Okay, your account was around 14, 15, and in over a year, you've taken your account to multi. I don't want to disclose the figures except guys, except she says it, but I don't want to disclose what her figures are. You've taken your account to multi, like if she's losing 20 grand on a trade and she's still comfortable, you guys can do the math yourself. But, anyways, you're taking your account to multi figures, and it just goes to show that the once you work hard and work smart, like like the results can't just deny you. So okay, basically in 30 seconds, you can just sum up about yourself and what FX is to you. And then if you have any tips and pointers you can give out to anyone out there. So basically, yeah, yourself of 2 years ago, right? Let's
Hmm.
say 3 years ago, if you were watching yourself now, like what would you say to yourself? Like what would you basically say to the viewers?
2, 3 years ago, what would I say to myself? um, oh yeah. I mean, for me, what I'd say to myself is there's no rush. The market is always going to be there. Um, I would rather like I would have taken more time, to like maybe to go be on demo than just rushing in with live money because when you take a loss, it hurts your account, you know, especially when they're like, because for me, most people transition from working a regular job then to not working a regular job. I never had a regular job, so it was like forex or nothing,
Oh
you
wow!
know.
So basically, off the bat, you was FX and school, no other job.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a job for a minute, but it wasn't anything, Here it's just like basically at the time what I was allowed to do was giving me like $300 a week, and that's nothing. you know. And then I stopped doing that for like, let me see,
And
for like
even doing that, did you even have time to still trade? So basically, that took all your time, if I'm not wrong.
no, because the funny thing is, you literally have to work like 40 hours a week to even get that 300, you know. So yeah, so it was like I stopped that job for like 2 years plus, and then that was when I picked up FX in that time frame.
Okay, so basically, no rush. This is a marathon. I always say that to people, but when you say that, people think it's because you have made it or it's because you can trade. That's
Yeah.
when you're telling them that they need the money tomorrow. But if they simply just relax and take it much easier, the journey becomes less
Yeah.
painful.
I mean, the thing is, if you need the money tomorrow and you rush today to make a stupid decision, then tomorrow you would have to look for some more money to put back into your account because you made a stupid decision.
I like
So,
I like that analogy. I like that.
so what are you rushing to?
I like that analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Ruki. Thank you again for your time. I will put in your Instagram handle in the description below. People can reach out to you, talk to you if they want
All
to.
right.
That's fine with you. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's it from Rookie. I will try rolling out more interviews with other people, other trade room members, other people that were in the YRC mentorship, so you guys can get to hear from them. Anyways, bye bye.
All right. Bye.